Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercise to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. You become better for not only you, but the people you love and care about most. You gotta be a little uncomfortable and take that leap of faith. You're in control of the process. I'm here with you. If we don't continue to grow, if we don't continue to move on, we will be sad and upset. I'm excited. I wanted to talk about entrepreneurship this week and trying to keep that sole focus. Me and my video editor have been trying to think of ideas, strategies to help continue to grow our channel, continue to help get more content out there for people to better themselves. But really, to get straight to the point, we're here to show, I think entrepreneurship is the funnest thing I've ever had the pleasure of participating in for like work-wise, being in control of what matters in my life, letting go of what doesn't. It's kind of the tagline I'm working on for our company. So I thought it'd be helpful to kind of just go over a path that's been working really well for me. Additionally, this path was also sponsored by, and I learned this from Dan Co. He's one of my favorite content creators. He has multiple businesses. Dude's an absolute badass, and I really appreciate a lot of his work. So if I ever have the pleasure of meeting you, Dan, I would love to set up some type of talk and talk to you. You're the absolute man. I've learned a ton from you. So really appreciate that. All right, let's get straight to it. We're going to zoom right through this. This is going to be a seven-piecer to just kind of better understanding the path to becoming an entrepreneur. Number one, start a brand. We need some sort of brand. And you might be thinking, this is something that was tripping up in my head. What kind of brand should I start? What should I be talking about? Should it be about me? So for me personally, I've been talking a lot about Talk to Tanner, and I use that to start for me. I just wanted to start talking on camera. My name is Tanner, and I figured that made a lot of sense that I was going down the consulting route and trying to just think of what it is in a rough ballpark. Your name doesn't have to be included on it, which is great. It's actually better for the business long term. If you're trying to sell a company, this is one of my major dream goals. Is I already have the check written out on my wall over here, is to sell a company, to exit a company and sell it. And actually, it turns out when your personal stuff isn't super heavily tied to it. But I just wanted to get started. And I like the branding. I like Talk to Tanner, Charles Schwab, JP Morgan. You can think of a bunch of companies that still are absolutely massive and huge that have their names on it. So don't worry so much about that. It's about making money and getting this thing rocking and rolling. So the number one path is some type of brand. And I think brand is even more important. I mean, this is why Louis Vuitton, you see these white t-shirts with an L and a V on it that literally sell for $100. And then you see a plain white t-shirt sell for $1. And what is the difference between that? And that would be brand. And brand is something that people continue to recognize, continue to come back to. They're like, oh yeah, talk to Tanner, talk to this guy. He's on episode 322 this morning, 322. And we're talking about brand and trying to build a brand. And I want you to think in your own thing. You can even go to ChatGPT, these AI generators that shoot out 1,000 million ideas a second. You can go try and get a brand that way. You can get a coach. You can do one of my exercises. You can talk to other people in your industry. Just try and run around and try and find some ideas to help you start with that, trying to find the brand. This one's very, very important. And it turns out you're like, oh, but if I pick something, I'm stuck with it forever. And turns out it's not true. You can totally change. I was doing something completely different, working for a company in Chicago, selling real estate. And now I'm on to this, doing brand, talking, and it's okay. You can pivot and you can make changes. We just got to remember that it takes a long time to build stuff up. So number one path to entrepreneur, that was a long-winded answer. To get to number two is solve your own problems. Number two, solve your own problems. Solve your own problems. What were some of the things that I was having troubles with? What it was my biggest problem was being consistent. My biggest issue was being consistent. There's a slew of problems that we go on and we solve in our companies, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and just stick with this. Consistency. Consistency, you hear this all the time. If anybody does anything long enough, they're going to succeed. And all right, and it's like, okay, what are we talking about? I can't promise you to get to the NFL or the NBA, but what I can promise you is that if you build a brand and you solve your own problems, such as my personal problem was being consistent, I was like, how can I build a brand and how can I be consistent? Well, how about I jump on every single freaking weekday morning for hundreds of episodes, all the way up to 1,000, to hold myself accountable, to have that kind of plan. And we created that plan through my coaching service. If you need a coach, if you need someone to work with, of course, talk to Tanner. But solve your problem. Think of what your biggest problem is. And there's a good chance that there are millions of other people who are struggling with this problem as well. And then we can try and elaborate on this to try and think of. That leads us straight to number 3, create a framework to help others. So we have our brand. We built our brand. Our name's Talk to Tanner. What is our problem? We're not consistent. We're not consistent with the calls. We're not consistent with the follow-ups. We're not consistent in showing up each and every day, even when we don't feel like it, because consistency breeds success. We know this. And now we need to create a framework. We need to create a framework. How are you going to help these people? Create a framework. Okay, so we have solved the problem, the consistency problem. Now we need to create some type of framework. I specifically do 6-week courses. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. So I do 6-week courses. These have been the best results that I've gotten, not only for myself, but for clients, working with other people, working with adults who own multiple companies, to working with kids, college students who are just getting out of college and they have no freaking idea what to do with their life, everything in between. But these 6-week courses, and I have specifically a 6-week course that's launching in the next month, the one-page life plan that's absolutely phenomenal, guaranteed or your money back. And this 6-week course, it's a deep dive and challenge. You're going to have to give up alcohol. You're going to have to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time for multiple weeks. You're going to have to work out. You're going to have to eat fruits and vegetables. You're going to have to meditate. You're going to have to build brands. You're going to have to solve your freaking problems. This 6-week course is absolutely amazing. This is the framework that I'm offering. This is the framework that I'm following and that I've had the best results with. So this is what I'm sticking with. Okay, on to number 4. So after you build some type of framework, you need to go out and you need to freelance and consult. I coached over 100 people for free. Again, I coached over 100 people for no money, free, nothing coming in. Very scary, right? But a lot of time. But I did really enjoy it. I learned an absolute crap load, and it was really, really worth it. So if you have an idea, you're starting to build out a brand, you're starting to solve a problem, you pick the problem you want to solve, you're creating the framework that you want, and you're starting to go out to people and you're thinking, okay, how can I help you? Or just try even to attempt to help. Contact me, be like, Tanner, I want to help you. I want to do this. I just want to lay this on you. I want to help with this. Is this a problem you're struggling with? Do you know anyone who has a problem that they're struggling with? And just start helping people. And it's a lot easier to sell something for free than it is to sell something for, say, like $2,000. I'm telling you, it's way easier. So freelance and consult. Granted, I promise, this is a little caveat. If you pay $2,000 for it, you're going to get a lot more out of it than if it was just given to you for free. That's in my experience. You got to pay for something for you to actually think it's worth it and work hard on it. That's my opinion. But freelance and consult. So you go out there and you're freelancing and consulting. So you have something, you have a business, you have an idea, you have branding, you have a framework, and now you're just doing the process with people. And it's incredible how much you're going to learn. The first kind of process that I had put together, roughly, I went out with people and I was starting to talk to somebody and I'm thinking in my house, like, this doesn't even make sense. And not to take a shot at myself, but it was just early on and I wasn't sure what I was doing. And that's why this step is so important, because you're going to learn what's working, what's not working, and what can I do different now. I have this drilled in my brain because my coach goes over this with me every single week. What is working? What is not working? What do we do different now? If you can follow that question framework with your freelance and your consult, you're going to be an absolute rock star. You're going to crush it. Okay, number five on the list. So on to number 5. So after we've gone out and we've worked with a couple people for free, now we're going to try and tie some type of price tag to it. And this is something that I've always kind of struggled with, the whole pricing issues. Like, what do I price it at? What is it worth? I would say it's probably best to start a little bit lower. It doesn't need to be astronomical, but just kind of getting some money in the door is probably smart. I don't know your work situation. Thankfully, we jumped on getting rental properties pretty early. I'm pretty young for having rental properties, and that was a lifesaver. I try not to touch any of the real estate money, but it gives me the comfort and the space to know that if this coaching stuff does not work out, we're going to be A-okay. And after moving into this, then you got to give yourself some time to sell some product. We just got to get some money coming in the door. This is usually why most entrepreneurs quit, because they don't have enough money coming into the door. So you got to ask yourself, how am I going to sell my product? Am I going to jump on camera? Am I going to yell and scream and talk about my product and how amazing it is, how it changes your life? Are you going to do email marketing? Are you going to do social media DMs? Are you going to go door knocking? Are you going to send mailers? How are you going to get in contact and actually sell this product? So how are you going to sell? And I would highly recommend just picking one way to do this that sounds the least terrible to you. They pretty much all work. You can do direct mail, you can hand out flyers, you can do all of them. They pretty much all work. Just if you could pick one, this is where I continue to trip up and get all messed up on this. I'm not confident in myself. I care too much what other people think. And I try it this way. I dabble in this, I dabble in that. And then I'm not really getting enough measurement and management. So I highly recommend to just picking one and sticking with that. So one way how you would sell your service. So on to step number 6. Make money. So as we have money coming in, we're making it, we're selling it, we're going to kind of tie that in for time's sake. So after you have made some money, so let's go ahead, put under you sell the product. And then we need to, after we make some money, then we're over here for step 7, number 7. We're going to zoom back up to this corner. Reinvest. Okay. This is one I take very seriously, and I think it is very, very important. So after we've made some money from this product, or say if we made some money from our rental properties, or we made money in our business endeavor, chuck that crap right back into the business. Chuck it into what it is that you want to develop. What do you love? What do you love most about your business? What department do you enjoy the most? What part do you think gives the most value to your clients? What part do you think is the most fun? And also reinvest in the things that you like, you love, and you enjoy. Other businesses you've seen so many times. And again, shout out to Danco for it takes a lot of this money, and he's getting this money, and then he's reinvesting into other softwares and books and other developments. And you can see this with other really successful business people. After they start really making a lot of money off of their main business, their cash cow business, they're diversifying, they're investing into other businesses that are high cash flowing. For example, as I make a lot more money in this coaching space, I have full intentions of continuing to buy houses, but I want to buy them for cash. I do not want to do financing. Interest rates are only probably going to get higher over time as the market ebbs and flows. Buy nice rental properties, buy a couple Airbnbs, preferably one out in Colorado, one down in South Florida, and then buy those for cash and then rent them out when we're not in them, use them when we're in them, and then just kind of have a nice portfolio of real estate, and additionally have a big business that is digital products, digital assets, and helping people all across the world. So that's how I'm trying to balance it. But you want to take your money and you want to reinvest back into your companies, especially if you're young. I don't know how old you are if you're watching this, or even if you're older, kind of think of what's the next step? Who do I want to set up in my life? Who am I doing this for? These are all good questions to ask yourself as you are on the entrepreneur path. Okay, folks. Well, I got to do a quick recap. So let's go ahead and run right through this. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning. So this was the path to becoming an entrepreneur. Number one, start a brand. Something like Talk to Tanner, like this show, whatever you can think of. Just start doing something and then solve your own problems. My problem was I was not very consistent with a lot of things. And now you got to create some type of framework to help others that solves that problem. So I created a framework that's going to hold me consistent and that I can help other people be more consistent. Control what matters in your life and let go of what doesn't. Next, you want to freelance and consult. You want to just go out there and help people with this product. 5, you want to start selling a product in some way, shape, or form. You want to make money off of this product, make sure that the company's profitable, and then you want to reinvest into what you love. Thanks for checking out our content. If you want to learn more about investing in yourselves and working with me and our company personally, we offer a 6-week Total Life Mastery Bootcamp where we go over the most important topics to make sure that our life has the foundation we need to catapult us forward to take the right and proper actions to become happier and more productive, guaranteed, or our money back.